These mag riders. What's this mag doing? Does he not notice that Sunder left behind? Okay.
Looks like Emerald has achieved that air dominance.
Hey, Mr. Mag Rider, they're spawning over there. Over there. There you go. Now he pays attention. Too late.
Seems like they're just not coordinated, or coordinating with one another.
I think at this, we're late enough in the game that the people who have had to spam their grenades more and the people who have had to get their aircraft up more are at a severe disadvantage. They are resource starved at this point, and if Miller has been losing in the air or being ganked more by Emerald, which is certainly what it looked like to me in the very beginnings of this match, then they don't have the resources to be pulling aircraft. And of course, if you've been pulling aircraft and now have to go transition down to infantry, you don't have the resources to pull grenades, to pull maxes. All you can do is just be regular infantry. No grenades, no maxes, no C4, no mines, nothing.
So,
and it puts you at a disadvantage.
With the Raxcom substation, just as we were saying earlier, the base is heavily exposed to air. Now, Miller did manage to push an infantry force up to the capture point and contest the actual capture point. But the fact is, Miller also tried to kill off some, although admittedly not very well, Sunders that were deployed. There's lots of Sunders for Emerald. Emerald's brought in the Air Force, as we're saying, and this base is horrendously exposed for air. So air for Emerald here is being absolutely dominating. They killed off any form of vehicle attack on their own Sunders, and then they systematically wiped out all the infantry forces from Miller on the capture point and trying to pressure. And now Emerald's infantry on the capture point has a significantly easier job. You just look at the minimap, just swarms of Reavers in the sky providing ground support, and there's no vehicle counter answer for Miller.
Well, Miller now just rejuvenated their air fleet and it's back at Sungri, so it seems like as soon as they get beat down, they just come back again and again.
Yeah, but they're going to lose the Raxcom substation. That's where they're needed.
That's true, but I think they realize that whenever they try to face against Emerald Air Force, they're kind of at a disadvantage for whatever reason that is. So they're trying to help where they can, but any direct conflict now with Emerald's Air Force.
Well, Emerald takes Raxcom substation. Barrack Electrical, 60 seconds to go. No one from Miller there. Over half the platoon at Barrack Electrical. Cryobank, there's a fight going back on it. Miller's trying to get it back, but they're outnumbered. It looks like they're about to be pushed off. Crux headquarters, they've made a big... Well, they've pulled numbers 3-1 to save Crux headquarters. And the fight at Sungri Amp Station is just ongoing. Looks like Miller wants to attack Sungri West, but they simply can't because they don't have all 3 capture points on the amp.
Here, after Miller spent all this time fighting over Barrack Electrical Station, they had all these people down here trying to get it. They're just going to let Emerald take it back from them. There isn't even a force here to try and defend this base. I just watched another Max from Emerald redeploy. That's how little fight there was at this base. They were willing to waste a Max just by redeploying to go somewhere else.
So having a look around, the fact is the instant Miller came to Barrack Electrical and they were trying to attack it, they were constantly being harassed by Emerald. Now Miller did a really good job getting vehicles set up. Oh, I can't believe it, they get the base for free. The fact is, let's explain. When they were attacking this base, when Miller came in for this base, they brought Sunders, deployment Sunders, they got set up and they had plenty of vehicles inside the capture point. But Emerald immediately responded and applied pressure. They had infantry go around, they picked off the Sunders there, they prevented the Sunders spawning in this Sunder point here. And then there was only left the vehicles in the PPA spam that was inside that couldn't be affected by the Emerald Air Force. And this has really helped the Miller Force, didn't have to worry about the air. But at the same time, yes, they didn't have any spawns. They were able to hold on and grab the capture point. But Emerald applied pressure all the time. And then as soon as they lost the base, they took the capture point. And then whereas in the flip side, Emerald, if they take a base, Miller didn't come back immediately and apply pressure to take the base back. Emerald just pressured immensely hard. And then Miller just gives it up. They fight so hard for this base, and then they give it up for free.
Well, hold on. That's not the case. Not anymore, at least.
Barrack Electrical is.
Now they're running out of high roads to reclaim.
Yeah, maybe now, but this is different though. And the fact is that they weren't fighting for a base they worked so hard on to get. And then they gave it up.
Up in the north, this is what I was talking about, why it's difficult when you lose both, when you reduce down the number of lanes. Miller is trying to get Sungray Power Hub. They were actually trying to get Sungray Power Hub and Sungray Westgate at the same time, but they were kicked off of Sungray Westgate, and now all these forces that Emerald has here can just hop right back up to Sungray Power Hub. Now, Miller still needs to keep doing this. They're taking time out and they're protecting Sungray Amp Station with time, but it's very, very easy for Emerald to just hop right back over, and they might have just done it.
Do people not know about the teleporter building? Because large forces of Miller are coming at the western teleporter, getting focus fired by this kind of firing team and air on the western exit, but the eastern exit is completely exposed and free to run out of.
They figured it out. You can see them starting to run out of there now.
Just as I said, Miller has now redeployed everyone who was over at Westgate to Power Hub, and they are trying to push in. Now, Miller has a very good setup choking through these choke points coming out. This is there are really difficult ways to get out of this spawn room here, and Miller's done a very good job of setting it up. I'm trying to see if there's any flanks or extra sunders that's oh yes, okay, so Emerald knows this, and Emerald is about to try and flank them to get this base back with a minute left.
Oh, this medic's got 2 kills now. He's got himself a heady.
Lots of maxes. And this is
I just couldn't deal with the heavy assault. Right, you're saying Power Hub, yes?
Sungray Power Hub, yes. Miller did a great job of getting rid of most of those maxes from Poonanor's group. Lots of C4, lots of explosives, took out most of them from above. 45 seconds. Oh, they're down.
With this amount of pressure in 45 seconds, and that number of maxes coming on the ground floor, it's not enough. Maybe on the 5-second marker, but just look at that. That's a huge... The maxes can't flip the point, though. That one heavy assault... One heavy assault right there was holding onto the point for a few extra seconds. I mean, if that was like a 10-second marker when they all ran in, that would have been close.
Miller has resecured high roads.
Yep, we did see that, and they are trying to reapply pressure on Araxi Bank. It's Araxi Bank? Araxian Cryobank, derp.
Miller is trying to resecure McCalla Auxiliary Compound, and a small token force of Emerald is pushed into Split Peak Pass. I think that, there are so many fires that Miller needs to try and push out now. They did a great job of at least taking time out of Sungray Power Hub. In the next 3 minutes, they need to kind of use that time to maybe push into Sungray Westgate and at least start defending Sungray Amp Station. You don't have to cap those bases, you just have to take a significant amount of time out of it to protect your amp station. But it requires a lot of people to do that, and you need those people elsewhere now. You need those people to be able to attack the different lanes that are falling.
Are you looking at McCalla?
I am at McCalla Auxiliary Compound, and that was resecured a moment ago, but it looks like... oh, I just got trapped. Oh, goody.
The Cryobank, Emerald, Tomlin, they've brought in max forces. They're now breaching all on the ground floor. Miller doesn't have any spawn sunders that I can see at least, and they're beginning to lose the capture point. They've got the higher ground. They're trying to keep enemy force. Nope. Hello, Mr. Max. You can't res him. Oh, green on his back. Oh wow, he must have flak.
Miller.
Sorry. That one heavy assault fail. He shot his own engineer. Oh well. The Miller force is holding on stalwartly. They've got the capture point, but the fact is Emerald is on the outside, and they've got the lower ground, and if they need to be on a very short time frame, they can just run up the capture point and cause it to flip.
I think Miller is attempting to give up some lanes to get other things back, and unfortunately, just like we saw with Connery yesterday, if you make that gamble to give up stuff, you have to get things, and they're not getting the bases that they're trying to move their forces to. Now it's 1 minute before McCalla Auxiliary Compound caps. If this caps, their other tech plant can be under threat, and I don't think that's a fight you want to have to go back into. You don't want to have to defend your tech plant again. You want to try and save this base as much as possible. They're
wow! So your harasser guys got a harasser inside. Oh wait, you can actually do that. And there's a wide enough doorway. I was going to say I thought they did it. You can actually get a harasser inside these doors, guys. It's very, very tricky though. You have to kind of lean sideways on and then drive in. I was going to say that's quite impressive. McCalla Auxiliary, you're saying?
McCalla Auxiliary is 30 seconds from capping, and I just don't see enough Miller here to make this push. There's a huge, huge force of Emerald up on those stairs, and Miller just got absolutely destroyed trying to push in the door.
We're watching at the population numbers. they outnumber the actual attackers 2-1. In terms of Sunders and spawn support, they only have one Sunder in the north. Maybe they've got a vehicle on the inside the building itself. I'm trying to find where he is. Yeah, not deployed though, but can act as a spawn Sunder. Yeah, they got one guy in, and they take it. That's another base. It's just rolling away now from Miller. If you look at the map timeline, just see how it was fire up until around the halfway point, you know, the first kind of hour, you know, 45-minute marker, but now it's just totally falling away, and then it is just going more and more and more in favor of Emerald. I think there's maybe one pickup back where Miller took a base back, but since then it's just all been in favor of Emerald. And could they take McCalla tech plant and then kill off all tech for Miller? I
think that's what they're going to try and do. I mean, currently Miller is attacking at Araxicom Network Hub, but here comes their friend the Harasser, parking right in the door. This is not going to end well for Miller. This is Araxicom Network Hub. Again, I can only assume this is ECUS, and one Harasser pulls up to the door. I don't even think he had to fire anything. I think that just seeing the Harasser made people back up, and they all got grenaded when that happened. I didn't quite see it happen on my stream.
Yeah, this is a Zestel save. Gee, Sungri Pump Station, 60 seconds to go.
There are not a whole lot of options left for Miller. You have to try and find somewhere that you can defend, and maybe try and push out and at least even this score. I don't think it's possible to come back from this score, but remember that, you know, it matters your territory percentage over the games as well, and so they need to go ahead and try and get as much territory back as possible. And if that means, hey, maybe they deliberately did this. Maybe they said, let them get up to the tech plant. We feel we can defend the tech plant with more people, and we're going to go try and push somewhere else. But they got to start pushing now.
Well, Miller's managed to get himself the Bravo capture point back at the AMP station. They've still got a minute 30, however. They need to get back a second capture point. A is the least likely. They could go for probably the Charlie point. The fact is, if Emerald really wanted this, their Air Force could come here. I mean, we know they have an Air Force. I don't know if you can find out where it is, Lancer. But
right now they're in lockstep with Emerald at Crux headquarters. They actually just won that engagement. They just beat Emerald's Air Force.
So they're not going to get any support in the AMP station. Still, we are going down to 60 seconds. I mean, Emerald is pretty close to taking this, and they don't have, you know, what would be considered a large force on these capture points. It's like maybe a squad in the bay on the Charlie capture point, which is the most exposed.
Yeah, they're not.
Or the A is beginning to finally flip, so I mean, it stopped. I'd be surprised if Miller let this go now.
Well, actually, they are at Sungri now, so they just won the engagement. They're coming back Sungri. That was actually
Miller is trying to push. Miller is trying to push the Araxium cryobank. They have people on the point, but are getting scat maxed off of it, and they have vehicles that are slowly pushing up, trying to get spawns and some lightning support for them here. I wonder if those lightnings are Skyguards, if they feel that air is more their threat right now. No, it seems like they're just regular lightnings.
Miller makes a save of Sungri Amp. It's going to go back. It's still going to take 6.5 minutes unless at the point, so they're not going to be able to apply pressure on Westgate or power up for a while. McCalla Tech is going.
Emerald just attempted to suicide flash one of the Sunders from Miller here, and it didn't go so well, unfortunately, but they have plenty of other people with C4, and they just took out the spawn Sunder for Miller at Araxium Cryobank.
Okay, tech plant. It's not Tuma's tech plant, it's McCalla tech plant. And we can see that same tactics apply. Emerald is in the base, they've got twin harassers on the balcony with your standard shotguns on top. They also have twin harassers on the double doors where the large cannon is, overlooking the Sound Stairs entrances. They have underneath gate diffusing repair Sunder, although he's decided to leave. Why would you need to destroy the vehicle pads? The vehicle pads were both left up. No one thought you'd get this far. Cobalt Bulldog, double Bulldog in the second Sunder, with another Cobalt Bulldog overlooking the rear tunnel. And here comes the first willing sacrifices to the Emerald God. It doesn't look like the... no, the Sunders are manned. They're just not paying attention. Okay, so that was the first sacrificial lamb. He was like, it's not clear, guys. This guy right here, he's not feeling it. He wants to have a sick day.
Emerald Southern Air Wing has arrived at the Sungri, and they just established air dominance.
So the Miller forces, they're at the tunnel underneath the back. The Emerald knows that Miller's down there, and Miller knows Emerald's up there, and they don't really want to come up. Even this harasser wants in on the action.
You know, it's interesting you say that that Miller Air is in the south, well, Emerald Air is in the north. And, you know, this seems to be the thing. I think that both of them have figured out, let's not fight each other. Let's try and go, you know, give as much ground support as we can. Emerald Air is over Sungray Amp Station. It is back down to under a minute. Emerald owns 2 points, and I just don't see enough push from Miller to get these back. Maybe they're at B here. I'm heading back over.
You're right, that
Emerald just made their push out of the tunnel. They've up in the balcony. Oh, they also came from the top balcony, so that's worked in their favour. They've cleaned up the top vehicles. They've cleaned up the balcony contained. The last of the Emerald force is actually in the vehicle bay area. Lots of maxes. This was a good counter push, and they've made a save on the tech line. Reinforcements incoming from the Emerald. Are they underneath? No, they must be on the roof.
I think Miller is trying to avoid the Emerald Air Wing at this point. So that's when they switch position. It looks like it's more because of that. Miller trying to avoid a direct engagement because they haven't won many engagements that I've witnessed.
Miller's ground forces have managed to get back B at Sungray Amp Station. They have never, as far as I've seen, gotten A back. And it's the problem because you get the hard spawn that you can come into. So, yeah, there's a lot of Emerald Air here that can take out any pushes from Miller, and actually they're defending their own push. Emerald's Air is defending their own infantry push, pushing out of the A spawn rooms, trying to get B back. And actually they're doing it both sides because C is flipping.
Oh, yeah, so
Miller didn't even defend C.
Emerald's been pushed off of Macalla Tech. And Sungry Amp, you're saying, is...
It's just the single ball of people thing is what's hurting Miller now. They can only attack and defend 1 point, and Miller is moving small squads around here. Plus, they have air dominance and are able to just impose their will on any infantry out in the open. Miller only holds the B point. Now, that's a very good point to hold. You can't really get hit by this air outside, but they need another point. It's down to a minute left on this base, and they need
to get it soon so that they can make a successful save. I mean, look at the Air Force of Emerald that's currently around Sungray Amp Station and the vehicles they've got set up. And at the same time, they're applying pressure on Crux headquarters. So the fact is, even if Miller makes a save here, they're likely to lose Crux because they'd need to then leave immediately. So the fact is, even if they did get a save, even if they did get the second capture point and then lost it for a little bit of time, you know, the fact is the timer's so far progressed, and then they went to Crux headquarters. Emerald will just come back here, reapply pressure. They're stuck over 2 bases. 30 seconds to go. What is Miller up to?
A little bit of ninja capping and a Raxicom on Miller's side.
Generator stabilized.
Oh yes, it's I see the population down there.
Yep, some little cloakers causing mischief.
And
10 seconds. Oh wow, check that infantry mega push in the last second going to the C point. Like 20 guys just YOLO charge in a tight ball knit. One grenade could have, or one explosive C4 could have killed them all, and they've just pushed onto C. The res grenades are going to go off, and it's going to be res wars, but that was pretty close, and it was also sketchy. Some preemptive grenades or C4 could have killed that entire running wave from Miller because they were so closely tight packed. Oh, but at the same time they're losing B point. This isn't over. What's going on at B? Oh, and it's a counter push and they get the base! I don't believe it! Oh, there you go. Oh man, this is just rubbing salt, more salt, and even more salt into the wounds of Miller. And what's going on at Crux headquarters, and they've still got population advantage at Crux headquarters, and what is it, 3 points still in hand? Oh dear, this is bad for Miller. Can they get back in time and can they save this base? This is just falling apart.
And the other problem with Crux headquarters especially, but even with Sungray Amp Station, it is just soft bases behind that. There are just single cap point bases, some of them incredibly difficult to defend from the warp gate, like Amber Shark's Reserve. I mean, this can go really, really badly very quickly for Miller here with these bases that are left.
They're outmatched. Finish them off.
Yeah,
30 seconds to go. Population numbers are slowly reaching 50-50, but they need more than just one capture point. This isn't a small outpost that can just run to one point. This is an exposed base where Emerald's Air Force can just apply pressure, and their harassers are being a right nuisance as well. And I think this is going to fall. I just don't see how Miller is going to... Okay, they're beginning to flip the Alpha capture point. It's still not enough though. This might buy them an extra 20 seconds. Just one heavy assault is buying a few precious seconds. Good kill. Oh, he's counter-picked from the back. And as soon as this A point flips, there we go. It's going down to 3 seconds. Crux headquarters falls. And another base for Emerald.
And this is what I was talking about. If you're making the gamble of population to try and get stuff, you have to defend what you have, because otherwise you just make it worse for yourself. Miller looks like they decided, screw the north, we're going to try and push the south. They're ticking down auxiliary compound, they're ticking down Araxicom substation, Barrack Electrical, they're making a push on Araxium Cryobank, although they just got backhacked. But now all of those can be resecured very quickly here by all the people who were just at Sungray Amp Station, all the people at Crux headquarters. They can just hop back over. And what Emerald will do is move a very small force forward, a squad, maybe even less than a squad, to those bases, get them moving, and then move their forces back around. That is what Emerald excels at: is moving forces, playing redeploy side forward, moving their forces around the map exactly where they need to be when they need to be there. And as I say this, Macala's auxiliary compound is being resecured by Emerald, specifically to keep their connection to the Macala Tech plant.
Yeah, we were just watching the capture. There's so many vehicles outside. Mainly Lightning's probably for transport, but it's just heavily one-sided. I mean, Miller tried to hold into the capture point. They didn't really have that many reinforcements or support. They didn't really have any really maxes. So it's stalling. I mean, this cap will prevent any attack going on at the tech plant. Crux headquarters, they can go Blackshard Mine, they can go Macala Cart mining now. With the Sungray Amp Station, they may apply pressure to Sungray Overwatch, or they can just, sit on their laurels at Sungray Amp, apply pressure in the south. Miller's trying to make something in the south. They've got some people at High Roads attacking Araxis Farms. That's a 7-minute base cap is going to be a long time. Barrack Electrical, small token force. Even Granite Valley is now beginning to get attacked.
I know that Miller is trying to defend by taking some time out of Araxis Farm Corps, but this is not the base you want to be spending your population on. This is a base that you want to take some time out of to defend High Road, so you don't have to go back there. If you want to be attacking those small 4-minute bases, you want to be attacking Barrack, you want to be attacking Araxicom and Macala and everything like that. And at the same time, unfortunately, you want to be defending Macala Cart mining. Even though there are lots of single cap point bases headed towards the warp gate, it looks like Emerald has decided to make a push in Macala Tech Plant. They have a large force that was pushing into Macala Cart Mining. They have a large force that resecured Macala Auxiliary Compound, and they are trying to move forces into Macala Tech Plant right now.
Just watching some, I believe this is Ginyu being a nuisance on the top of Granite Valley Garrison's antenna in the middle of the tower. Just probably using Gauss-saws at long range.
Miller learned from the last time they had to fight here, and they did blow the vehicle terminals at Macala, so that will make it a lot easier for them to defend this base moving in. They learned that lesson, and they already have some armor that they're pulling out here, trying to preemptively defend that lightning push that Emerald was trying to push in.
Yep, with Barrack Electrical is a successful save. They're trying to get Granite Valley is a save. Barrack Electrical, they're trying to attack again. We'll go maybe have a look. Araxicom is going to be a save. Macala Cart Mining is going to be a save. Cart Mining is actually under attack, and so is Blackshard, as you were saying. Look at Blackshard. And you think there's 23 minutes left in this time. Can Emerald? I don't know how much of we'll put it this way, they're not going to be nice and they're not going to hold back. They're going to go for blood, get absolutely every territory they can get their hands on, okay? Can they warp gate? Can they get to the eastern warp gate? It's still about 2 bases away. It's possible.
It's certainly something that they're probably going to try and do just to rub Miller's nose in it.
Oh, and the thing is, Black Shard Tungsten Mine, although it's been saved, or being in the process of being saved, counter reinforcements are coming in for Emerald, and it looks like they're about to get the capture point back down in a few seconds. Yep, they got the capture point. This is a base where the capture building is so exposed to air, and the defenders have such a long run that... Look at this, Emerald's Air Force is right outside Miller's Warp Gate, and they're just, you know, they're just hanging around Black Shard Tungsten Mine. Yep, we're just bombing you all day long. 3 minutes to go. I don't see... Oh wait, no, I was going to say I don't see any deployed Sunders for Emerald. Oh, the pumpkin was a draw. Not a single pumpkin mined. That's very disciplined.
0-0-0.
Population-wise, we see that Miller's beginning to spawn in Black Shard Tungsten Mine. They've got more people. Effective numbers on the ground is hard to call. Harasser's actually underneath. I don't think you can do anything productive here.
At McCullough Auxiliary Compound, Miller is trying to get this back. Emerald's Air is overhead in force. Now, the one good thing is this is a base where the air really can't do anything to them so long as they stay inside, and it's very easily defensible. Emerald already has people pushing out from the spawn room trying to get inside. I'm going to see what kind of defense Miller has set up.
Miller Air just wandering around. I don't think they have a purpose right now. They haven't found their calling over Black Shore. They seem unsure what to do. Well,
the fact is, if Miller Air was at Black Shard and they weren't being molested by Emerald's Air, and it looks like there's actually somewhat of a small air fight going in the skies. Okay, there's a nice little counter push from back and the flank, but the fact is Miller's Air Force could pounded the capture point. I mean, it's exposed, got doors, and leads an easy way, but at the end of the day, their infantry was able to get in regardless.
Yeah, I was watching their air as you were saying that. They were in Mala carp mining over the mountains. They were just kind of sitting there. I don't know if they were waiting on word from command to move forward or what it was, but they were hovering, just watching the fight.
So Miller's being just being a nuisance currently at Sungri Amp Station. They're preventing 2 squads from Emerald at Sungri Overwatch. They've got all the Sunders set up and deployed, as we can see on the minimap. They just can't flip the point because they need to fully secure all the 3 capture points on Sungri Amp Station. They've got themselves A. There's still this nuisance force from Miller just kind of running around. Okay, now they've been caught off guard. Are they getting the Bravo? No, they're not getting the Bravo point. They've lost the Bravo point. So the charade of whack-a-mole continues. And I think, ultimately, Emerald can do better by pulling back even more people from Sungri Overwatch and forcing the issue at Sungri Amp. Although it's, then again, the ability and freedom to move around for Miller's highly restricted at Sungri Amp simply because of the air control by... Okay, do a barrel roll, cartwheel. Yeah, it's been restricted.